There we go.
Nice.
Welcome to the Work in Progress podcast. I am Daniel, and that's Adam.
Hey everyone. Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Insert Number here because I can't quite keep track at the moment. So
It's okay. I don't think we can keep track of the pages either.
yeah,
As long
but
as we're
yeah,
getting
no,
it, as long as we're getting it done, that's the chief key.
it's the important bit. Yeah,
And because all of it's planned out in advance, we don't really have to do it in order.
exactly. Yeah, so we are kind of being a bit, for lack of a better word, flexible.
Being a little cheeky,
So
we are.
yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of doing it indies. Like, we don't have to have a publisher breathing down next saying like, where's the pages, or like. I want pictures of Hunni Bunny. I want them on my desk by 3 o'clock. Like we don't have to worry about that. So, but yeah, So, what have you been up to?
We had a barbecue yesterday, and we shot some guns. I'm a big gun
Oh yeah,
guy, and I came up to a very big epiphany while I was showing how to use a gun to people who had never used them before.
oh yeah.
Uh, Fucking video games, dude.
Mhm.
Video games. While I do not think that a video game can cause somebody to become violent, like I don't think violent video games can do it because I mean, like if you're striving for perfection in a video game and then you fuck up. For
Yeah,
instance, like there are people who played those like DDR knockoff games who punched
yeah.
holes in walls. So I don't think that like it's just violent video games. I just think it's like people trying to succeed at something and then they just freak out when they fuck up. But
Yeah.
I do think that like tactical military shooters or like shooters in general do in a weird way simulate. I'm not saying that like you're going to get like super awesome perfect, but you would know what the gun is, how to load it, how many rounds are in it, what the effective ranges are to some degree.
See, here's the thing. It's funny that you say that because I do remember Count Dankler had an interesting take on that, where it's like when he went to America, he went to a gun range, and the guy was like, "Do you know what you're doing?" And he's like, I think I actually do know what I'm doing." Funny enough, and then
Weirdly,
sure enough, he knew.
yeah,
He
weirdly
knew where.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But to say that, like, oh, is this going to make me want to like kill? It's like, no, 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 no. But still, I do. It's funny though. Like the older I get, my tune kind of changes in a sense of like if you're someone who's already fucked up in the head, like there is a small chance that you play a game like Manhunt, and then you're probably going to get ideas, but you're already fucked up. So I
At the
don't think
same
it's the game's
at
fault.
this yeah, at the same token, you're such an unhinged person that I don't know, like you dropping your sandwich would probably do it too, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if you're the type of person who gets angry that like you bumped your knee by accident. I mean, then again, I'd be pissed too. But like, if you have like an overreaction or you're just like, kind of like that rage, feels inside you, then I
Yeah.
wouldn't really put it past it. That manhunt would also kind of cause that kind of like, the mental anguish, the hate, kind of.
Honestly, it's something that nobody ever talks about that actually makes people kill each other is
Was
fucking road rage.
Oh yeah, road rage is like. I mean, I get angry just by having to dodge cars because I don't drive, but like I have to cycle and walk, And I've had near misses, because people just fuck around on the roads, and that I get like I
Yeah.
don't know if you call it road rage technically, but
Yeah, no, that's well, yeah, I mean that's a little but yeah, no, like let's say somebody almost hits you one day and like you just had it like you just run up to their car, pull them out and beat the shit out of them. That happens a lot. Or,
oh
another
yeah,
one would be it's a long day for somebody. It's a really stressful time. They just spent a shitload of time driving. There was probably a few things that already pissed them off on the road, and then you give them the middle finger, and that was
yeah,
the breaking point. That was the moment where they drive in front of you, they slow down, they make you stop.
yeah,
That classic video of, yeah, no, roll down your window, bro. Yeah,
My favorite like road rage video is like there's this like weirdo. Even the way he's dressed looks really weird. It looks like he's like stuck in the 80s, you know. And he's recording a guy who like bangs on his window, be like, "I got a fucking kid in the car. You want to videotape me driving like an asshole? Fuck you!" And he's like, and the guy's like, "Is that all?" And he just like punches his fucking window and shatters it. And I'm just like, oh, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, like if the guy's driving like an asshole, then you know,
It is what it is, man. But it's just
corrupt.
you want to
Yeah,
know why nobody talks about. Here's my little conspiracy theory for you, gamers. You want to know why
yeah,
everybody talks about like video games making you violent and like not driving. Driving
what is
is
it?
essential for work.
Yeah, commutes.
Video games are not. If you get rid of video games, people are more likely to work. That's my fucking conspiracy theory.
You know, it is funny that you say this because I actually had a bit of a little bit of a thing that happened the other day. Because like recently, I've been like so sick of games that I've kind of just quit playing games now. Like I get no joy out of playing them. I think they're a waste of time. And the biggest thing, and this is actually like part of the conversation I had the other day with some like mutual friends of ours. I was in a call, and I said to them, I was like, "Yeah, I pretty much like kick video games to the side for now. I'm only doing movies and books as well." And they were like, and I said to them, and this is my hot take, and you could also probably fill me on this to see if like what you have to say about this. I do generally think that video games offer nothing in terms of conversation because I said that to them, like, what are you talking about? Yes, they do. It's like, no, they don't. No, they don't. And let me explain to you why. If we talk about a movie, we'll be like talking about how how the character, how this character like is reacted to this, or how the director did this, or how the shot looks and everything. When you play a video game, let me tell you what half the conversations are like. Yeah, so I was playing Project Zomboid today. I took refuge at a school, and then I barricaded the windows, but then they eventually got in, and I died, and that was the end of that. So yeah, see ya. It's just like there is nothing to there's like no constructive conversation when it comes to video games. I find, and that's why I'm just sick of playing games now.
Well,
Like
you know
I get
why?
no joy.
You know why?
Yeah.
It's because the cinematic game, like your Metal Gears and your other shit, has just been ruined just by these
Boring.
online easy pick 'em up, fucking set 'em down games. Um, I will say this though, I'd like I want to bring this up, and this is a thing that goes back to the car thing,
Yeah.
real quick. It was
Go on.
the first car ever to go like 65 miles an hour was in 1899. So
Oh yeah.
only about like a little bit over 100 years ago were like human beings in a capsule going that speed. Before that,
Yeah.
no one was going that speed. After that, that speed, right? Which is
Right.
like, and then you like so you're taking our evolutionary like moving forward, and you're just making that it's you're making everybody able to go that speed,
Mhm.
and in a lot of cases you're forcing them to do that because they need to get to work.
Yeah.
And especially here in the United States, you can't avoid having to drive a car because everything is far away from you unless you live in like a major metropolitan city, in which case, wow, that's a really cool $3,000 a month apartment, guy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I'm so fucking tired of this shit now. Like video games. I'm just done. I'm done. It's over now.
I think i think that if it's a video game that you care about, also like it just depends on. I just feel like the video game discussion is really lazy.
It is. There's nothing to talk about.
There is stuff to talk about. I
But
think that Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots is pretty fucking awful as a video game.
yeah. But then here's the other problem too. Here's another problem too I found with games is that no one plays the same game at the same time, and not everyone has the same interest. Which is fair. Like you could say the same about movies and what have you. But the problem that I find is like and maybe this is from personal experience, is like I like Brutal Legend, I like Bully, I like Saints Row 2. No one in my like circle has really. I mean, some of them did play them back in the day, but not to the level I did. And I do generally think that those games actually do have some stuff to talk about. But everyone's too busy playing all those like stupid like pussy shit like Marvel Rivals and things like that.
Well,
And I just
because those games are like sports. Those online
yeah
those online games are like sports where it's all about like the performance of like you and the team. So
yeah
a lot of the conversations that wrap around those types of games ends up being like sport talk, like, oh man, like you did shoot like their fucking Hulk. Yeah, man.
yeah.
Next time we'll shoot the Hulk, and God help us if we get another rando player that just doesn't know how to play fucking Starfire or whatever. I don't.
Oh my god, that's actually an interesting way to look about it because
Yeah,
I fucking despise sports.
yeah.
So
Those types of shooter games are almost exactly 1-to-1 like sports.
oh my god, maybe that's why like I feel nothing towards gaming as a whole now is because it's kind of gone down this like weird sportsmanship thing.
Yeah,
God, that explains everything. Because, and again, like maybe it could just be my experience at the moment, but like there's only really like two servers where people are in right now that I'm part of, and like, and even then, when they're not talking about like shitty video games, like they keep talking about so many boring topics, like the fuck, like I know that it's still kind of a hot topic right now, but I'm so bored of hearing about pirate software now, and like I mean, stop killing games supported, but like. So bored. Bored. People
it's
are
the
boring.
internet's bully distraction. And you know what? Here's the thing about the pirate software thing, though. And this is gonna
Yeah.
date this episode because no one is gonna in the future know what the fuck we're talking about. Uh,
Yeah.
Pirate software, almost every single, like if he just said, yeah, you know what, I might have misrepresented it, I'm sorry, I still don't like support it." If he said that, entire fucking conversation over.
Well,
If he just said that, the entire argument would have been like, "Oh, okay, well, it sucks that you don't support it, but at least he was like, oh, I'm sorry." It's the fact that his big fat fucking ego.
well, it's funny that you say that because he's also the type of person where because of his ego he just keeps digging himself like a bigger hole every time he like opens his
Yeah,
gut. Basically, his recent on his recent stream, there were people talking about it, and they asked him like, you ever thought about apologizing? And he's like, what? Why would I
no,
apologize? That would
no,
be me
no, not
lying.
good.
That
No,
would be me. He was like, that would be me lying about how I truly feel. No, fuck that shit. Fuck you for even suggesting that.
yeah,
It's just like, oh my god, this guy. This is one of those types of guys where, like, if he has a lawyer, I bet his lawyer's like, Thor,
just
shut up, Thor.
shut the fuck up. Yeah,
God, oh god, can you imagine him in like a court
because
case?
like,
Oh, that'd be
the
hilarious.
whole him messing up at like World of Warcraft, like if all of the characters died and then he just kind of ran away, he could have just been like, "I misread the signal. It's my fault. I'm really sorry. We'll just try to reset and go from there." If he just said
Yeah,
that, it would be sucky, but that would have been the end of it. It's
yeah,
the
and
fact
like,
that he can't admit that sometimes he makes mistakes.
yeah, God. I don't know why, but that anime Doctor Stone came to mind when like they generally make mistakes doing their little science experiments, but
Oh
like
yeah, and then they fix the mistakes.
God, that's the level like narcissism I always like worry I'm going to go down. Is just like the idea that I cannot realize when I'm fucking up.
I think a lot of it comes from the fact that he is probably a really, really, really smart guy. The issue is that he's probably a level of smart where it gave him an ego.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because
Yeah.
he's also the type of guy where like, he has his like stance on like game development and what have you, but it's that kind of stance that's like, listen, I just realized the irony that we're talking about it when I said I'm tired of it, but like I said like because he'll be like he has that kind of level of like look, I know I'm a developer. I know how this works. You are ignorant. You do not know how this works. So shut up. It's just
Well, I
like,
mean, I think it's less to do like most people are talking about the stop killing games thing. Personally, it's whatever. I don't
yeah,
want to. I don't want to give somebody online any amount of my own personal information, and when you sign up to that,
yeah,
you're giving your address and shit like that, your name, your address. So I was like, okay,
yeah.
just off of anonymity's sake, I'm not signing up for this. I like the idea, but I don't want my actual name attached to it like that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, as an American, you wouldn't have been able to do it either way. So
Uh, doesn't
because
matter.
one was EU and the other one was UK. So
Oh, I'm talking about like yeah, but
in general,
outside that,
oh yeah, of course, yeah, I
the
get what you mean.
what was I getting on about? It
Well,
the learnable thing, and this is a problem that a lot of people right now that are like famous or starting to get famous have
mhm.
is you're still under the impression that you can say whatever you want when you're a public figure.
Yes.
At a certain when you become a public figure, you need to really really think about some of the shit that comes out of your head hole. And you need to think about the ramifications of certain things that you say. I understand these are my thoughts, these are my true beliefs. Sometimes your true beliefs might want to keep those to yourself, chief. Sometimes you do.
Oh
Whenever
yeah.
whenever like big money's involved, it's the same thing with that lady from Disney, or like any actor that says some dumb shit on Twitter and then ruins the hype of the movie.
Oh, like the Snow White one, for example,
Yeah, like that one.
or like the Mulan one was like, I think it was like the Hong Kong bullshit. I
Or
think.
like fucking Mark Hamill preemptively apologizing for the possibility that the new Star Wars movie was going to be shit. You know,
Yeah.
I understand why he would be doing that to like maybe temper people's shit, but now all of that footage just turned into ammo against the company. And like it's just one of those things where it's like god damn it, just get get your actors in check, or like get if you're god, it's so hard for me to like really,
No, I understand the frustration.
if
I
it's
get
a
it.
multi-million dollar fucking like company thing and a lot of it rides on public perception and trying to gain hype, the last thing that you want to do is pick a side on something or say something really fucking stupid. I get that sometimes there are like political movements or something that you should speak up about. But if you're making a movie, like a Disney movie or some shit, at the end of
Mm.
the day, you have little gay wizards in the woods. Like little gay, like that's a reference if you don't know.
I feel like I should know this,
It's a
but yeah.
Uwe Boll reference.
Oh, okay, okay.
If you want to fund little gay wizards in the woods, that's okay. I'll stop making movies.
But yeah, no, like I understand that. I mean, I'm also the type of person where like sometimes I wonder if I'm the weird one because I grew up at a time when like social media was invented, But I don't say shit on my like accounts on my socials at all. Like even before doing all these like art stuff, I don't say shit, and I don't care about seeing other people's stuff. Like I've never been one to like honestly, like whenever we do updates on our like Indiegogo, that's probably the only time I ever say stuff on the internet, and
I'm
that's to do with the product in question.
not gonna say the guy's name, but there was one artist that I really, 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 really liked,
Yeah,
and for some reason he got a hair up his ass to become really fucking political. So what he did
I can't
was
imagine.
he took a massive, massive watermark of all of his opinions and put it over the image. And the only way that you can get the image without this massive, huge watermark of just like, you know, BLM, ACAB, fucking Stop Asian Hate, all of these things over the image was to like subscribe to his Patreon for cash. So
Yeah,
he paywalled his images super hard. And I'm just like, you know what? I understand why you're doing this. I
yeah.
I get that you feel that this is going to make a change. The only thing that this is really gonna do, sadly, is make people stop looking at your shit.
Well, yeah, and like, I mean, not only that too, but like the context of like what he was drawing too didn't quite match up with what he was doing. You know?
It is what it is. That's beside the point. The really
Yeah.
big thing is like I get standing by your guns and things like that, but when the moment that you become a public figure and like your public figure-ness is your livelihood, like your job, certain things you should be really fucking careful what you say.
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, pretty much on episode 1 of the podcast, I made it abundantly clear: I'm politically dead. I don't give a shit about politics.
Yeah.
Like, what's that saying? Is it like how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb or something like that?
Yeah, and you know, I have a political like an ideology that affects literally no one.
Exactly, yeah. So I made it a clear day one that none of you will have to worry about me spewing bullshit. And you know, if I do, and here's the thing: if by chance I do in the future, you can quote me on this, and I'll eat my words. You know, but by and large, I just have nothing to say. I don't care. It's not gonna and yet again, it's not gonna happen on any Hunni Bunny channels because that's just, yeah, it's the only channels I kind of have. It's like you don't have to worry about me spewing like bullshit whatsoever because I don't care. I don't care. So, yeah. But yeah, man. So,
So Israel, Palestine.
yeah. But no. But still, but honestly, though, like, you, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I
Don't
read
care.
comics.
It's just one of those things where it's like, not my country.
Don't care.
Don't really care.
Don't care.
They've been
Not my
fight. They've
country.
been
I don't.
they've been at each other's throats for years and years and years. It doesn't seem like either side can ever capitulate to the other one. It's going to keep going for years and years and years. And to be brutally honest, I don't even know what either one of those countries' main export is to justify them being countries.
Mhm.
Because at least China makes everything, right? I get China's existence. I
Mhm.
what do they make? What do they make? They have ports. I know that. But then you know you have the other one, Russia and Ukraine,
Yeah.
and that was just like, hey, you want to see a massive like military get owned by Hot Wheels?
But yeah, I think that's about it, really,
I mean,
on that
the only
subject.
thing that I can comment on it is just the actual things that are happening. There's some stuff that's like crazy, like that one that like Cobra Commander style like drone strike that they did on their like long range bombers,
Yeah, that
where
was mental. That
where
one.
they had like they had these it was, like it somebody in Hollywood make a fucking movie out of this because it's basically like a heist movie where they had these semi trucks, right? And they commissioned like some Russian drivers who didn't know what was going on to like, you know, get like rocks and shit or whatever was stored inside of them, like, you know, into Russia. But on the top of these trucks were these metal boxes with that are spring loaded. And when they were like driving alongside the Air Force base, the
Yeah.
metal latches would pop open and then drones would just fly out of the thing. And they were all like these bomb drones. And then they just flew over all of the bombers and then just crashed into them. And you're like, oh
What the
my
fuck?
god, this like out of a movie, like right out of a fucking like science, not even a science, like one of those like, oh god, what are they called? It's like a Rainbow Six kind of thing. Tom
Oh
Clancy.
yeah.
It's like a Tom Clancy. Like this could be the cold open to a Tom Clancy movie.
I can believe that honestly.
Yeah, You see that, and then right after that, it cuts to the Kremlin, where like like somebody who's kind of like Putin is walking down a hallway, and then looks out a mirror, and he's like, "Mm." And then it cuts to like American base with guys playing baseball, and they're like, "Hey, did you hear about that thing that what happened?"
And they're all like shirtless, like playing like basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like some big guy with a deep voice is like, "Mac, we need you back into the service. I'm about to go like see my family. You don't understand. This could be World War III. Oh God, this again."
Mac, if you don't do this, you won't have a family to get back to. Do you not understand, America? And then yeah, it's
Yeah,
that's how it begins.
Jack Ryan is like the big main character of like a lot of the Tom Clancy books. That guy needs like all the money and all of the promotions because he stopped the Queen getting assassinated. He stopped like World War III. He stopped like I don't know Iranian like rebels from selling an ICBM. At a certain point, this guy needs like just give him a mansion from the amount of times that he stopped the world from exploding.
Is this a real person?
No, it's.
I was gonna say I was getting confused then.
He's like an American James Bond.
I see. What's his name again?
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. I have to look that up later.
You ever seen The Hunt for Red October?
Is that the submarine one?
That is the submarine one. Yeah.
I saw a tiny bit of it. Yeah, when I was a kid.
So you know the guy that Alec Baldwin plays in that movie?
Oh yeah.
That's Jack Ryan. He's also played twice by Harrison Ford in some different movies.
Oh, okay. So this is like an actual like character in a series then.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. You know what kind of blew my mind about Tom Clancy was I thought he was like an Andy McNabb where he was actually in the military, but no, he just had like a hard on for it.
No, he was like I think he was like a contractor, like data analyst.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so he was never actually in the military. And then, a lot of his like knowledge on like naval vessels because he got approached by like, the government and they were like, where did you get all of this information about our super secret subs? And like he pulls out like a tabletop strategy game that just has all of the fucking vehicle stats in it.
What the fuck?
He literally just did like, he literally just did a War Thunder.
I was gonna say he did a War Thunder before. That was cool to do.
Yeah, he did a War Thunder in the 90s.
That's hilarious.
Well, here's the thing about like data analysis or like military like speculation is that if there's a picture of it, there's a good possibility that somewhere somebody can just look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, it has this rocket pod, it has like this ability, it has that." So, if a guy who really likes military stuff makes a tabletop game, right? It stands to reason that that guy could probably, stat a lot of vehicles.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, dude, like if you're someone who knows what you're doing, like job wise, you could probably just look at a car and be like, yes, that's the way the thing is, and the thing will be in here, and they'll be in there. It's like, yeah,
and then you're like,
just know.
Oh, is it the 1974 variant with the fucking like the fucking super spark plugs? And you fucking pop the lid open. It is the 1974. Oh, I fucking called it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. Anything, any hobby actually.
Pretty much, yeah.
Literally any hobby has that, yeah.
I mean, back when, like, I was, like, big on games, like, I remember I was watching a film with some people. I think it was, what's that film where you had, like, McLovin? The one with,
Superbad.
Superbad, yeah. I was watching that film, and I was watching it at work, of all places, because we used to be clever, where we just, like, watch films on a Friday, because there's, like, fuck all to do after a while. So one of the guys brought in Superbad, and then like there was a bit in the film where like they're playing a really obscure game by today's standards called The Getaway Black Monday, and I was like, they were like playing it, and I was like, oh, The Getaway, and they're like, how the fuck did you know that? It's just like, oh, I played that so much, but it was like really funny because it was like an American film, but they're playing a game that's set in like bish bosh England in like London, so.
Wasn't
God,
it
that's
because like that's like one of the only games that they could get for like really cheap?
yeah. I mean, yeah. By the way, that game, that's an example of a game that they will never ever ever be able to resell ever again because that game, all the cars are licensed cars, and the whole game's filled to the brim like advertisements.
Oh, so like they would have to renegotiate literally everything.
They would either need to renegotiate, or they'd have to have some like outsourced developer go out their way to like change all the models, which I
Make
doubt they're going to do.
everything generic. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
every
sucks.
car.
Yeah.
It's the same problem that Driver San Francisco has, where every car is licensed, therefore cannot be sold anymore unless they renegotiate.
See,
That's actually yeah.
if you make
Sorry.
like a historical timepiece, like you can actually get away without getting the copyright.
Right. Oh yeah, because it's history. But I mean, that's also another topic we could discuss. Is like the risk of having a license. Like here's like another example. You know how like Soul Calibur did like guest characters before that was the cool thing to do. Like Soul Calibur 4, that was the one that had Star Wars characters in it. That's delisted now. It's gone. You can't get that anymore. Officially. So then it calls into question: is it worth doing that in the long run? So was you listening?
Yeah, no, I was listening. Just
Yeah.
I'm just fucking scratching a bug bite. You know when you scratch a bug bite and it gets worse, and then you keep scratching it, and you're just riding the lightning at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I also had another topic I wanted to talk about is since I've kind of sworn off video games now, so I haven't watched any films lately because I've been like doing some writing, but I've also been getting into books a bit. And I was going through my Kindle and I saw The Dark Tower by Stephen King,
Yeah.
and it turns out that last time I read this, I got like 75% in, so I was actually like really reading this thing. So what I'm gonna do since it's been like 6 years, I'm gonna start from the beginning, so I have like a fresh, fresh what have you.
You're doing the I played an RPG but then stopped for a week method.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm gonna read the Dark Tower. Since I got like 70% in, that means that I'm probably gonna be invested in this just like before because I read it at a time when like I had no interest in books, so that must have meant that it was doing something to me. And plus, that's like what the first of 9 books, I think. So
Yeah, there's a lot of Dark Towers books.
yeah, I think he considers it to be his magnum opus, at least at the time, anyway. But
Um,
there was. Oh, sorry.
uh, it was like an actual book series. That was the thing.
Yeah, because by and large, Stephen King's like what do you call it, bibliography or whatever. Like his
Yeah.
books were always like one on their own, and like once in a while it might get a sequel. So I do know that The Shining got a sequel where it was like Danny when he was like what 40 now.
Yeah, it's like
So
Dreamwalkers or something like that.
yeah, yeah, which oh, there's a really funny panel about that. So the problem with Stephen King is like he's kind of a boring person, and he even admits it to the point where when you actually like hear him talk in interviews, he says the exact same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help the fact that like interviewers always ask the same questions too. But there was one thing where he's on stage talking at a panel, and he's like, there came a time when I was like, I need to do something different. I'm going to do away with the Draculas. I'm going to do away with the werewolves, the zombies, the ghouls. I'm going to do away with everything. No, 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 none of that stuff. So I was like, I'm going to do something new. So I wrote a sequel to The Shining. Yeah, but yeah, man, but yeah, Stephen King, he's such a like a goofball, and I mean that in like the most nicest way possible.
Yeah.
Plus, plus, I've been like staring at his house, which out of context sounds weird, but no, 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 like his fucking house in
Is
Maine is so
insane.
cool.
And also it's in Maine, so like, Maine is expensive now.
Yeah, yeah, I remember when I was reading his there's a book he did called like On Writing where it was like part autobiography and then also part of like an insight of how to like write basically, or at least how he does it.
I wonder if this Stephen King horror story is going to be about a writer that lives in Maine.
Yeah, They always shoot. All of his books seem to like take place in Maine. It's like the guy lives there or something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're right what you know, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's always funny. That's the thing he's always talked about too. It's like, I remember when I started writing, they'd be like, well, you could always write what you know. But it's like, but that's kind of a bogus statement because what if I wanted to write intergalactic starships or something?
Well, an astral. What was the Lovecraft? One of the funniest ones was like Colors from Space. Almost
Oh
every
yeah.
single one of his like stories takes place where he's from, like which was like Rhode Island or some shit.
Yeah.
Almost every single one, and you're just like, uh, like at a certain point, Rhode Island is a really small place, and it's like every single thing that could possibly go wrong goes wrong there. Apparently,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
like a monstrous color creature from outer space sucking the life out of things. You have like a hocus pocus style magic ritual that creates a monster that some monster hunters fight in the distance. You have you have a
In Rhode Island.
a stone slab that some guy dreamed up about an ancient god that actually does exist that a guy attacked with a boat.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's kind of goofy when you envision all this happening in Rhode Island of all places.
I forgot what he is actually from. I think it's closer to Boston. Hold on. Uh,
I think he lived in Boston and then moved to New
where
York and then moved back.
was Lovecraft from? Because he never. Yep, Providence, Rhode Island, baby.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, everything happens in Providence, Rhode Island. It's really funny. Like, a lot of his stories happen so frequently in Rhode Island that he actually has a map in one of his like stories where he actually mapped out where each story happens.
Are they also all connected too, or is it just a
No,
map for
they're
the sake of it? Oh,
some of the
okay.
lore is connected, but very loosely. It's kind of like James Bond movies.
Mm. But yeah, man, I do love I am starting to get into books now, which to be honest with you, given the fact that we're making like a comic as well, I feel like I'm actually delving into the world I probably should have delved into like many years ago, as opposed to playing like shitty video games.
Well,
So
we're here now, and
yeah,
instead of being young writers with a whole bunch to prove, we're just old men who are just like, yeah,
we're old enough to not be considered young, but we're not old enough to be considered old. So we're kind of like in that middle bit where we can still figure this out whilst we still have a chance. So
I mean,
I
one of
mean,
the
you could
best
technically do that any
one of the
age, but
best
still.
anime directors of all time, Miyazaki, like spent a good chunk of his life learning law, and he
Yeah.
was a lawyer. And then in his 30s, he did a legal battle for an animation company, and then he was like, "Hey, look at my drawings. Do you think I can make like a children's book?" And they were like, "Do you want to work here?
Yeah.
It's gonna suck, and the pay isn't gonna be as good as your lawyer job, but you could work here." And he's like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, I don't know." And then like in the span of like 2 years, he was directing like Lupin the Third.
Oh yeah, totally. Like he's a busy man. Like he keeps himself busy throughout most of his life after the
But yeah,
lawyer
no,
shit.
he started that shit in his like late 20s, early 30s. So
Yeah.
he was
So
already pretty like
kind of
behind.
old, but not. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, because I sometimes kick myself for not doing this sooner, because I kind of started drawing at like what was I 25, 26 when you kind of started speaking to me.
Yeah.
So and like I kind of kicked myself, and at the time when we met too, I kept saying to you like, yeah, it's too late now. So because every time I asked an artist how long they've been drawing, you get like 30-year-old men be like, yeah, I've been drawing since the age of 10, and then like it would kind of give me that like message of like, yeah, you fucked up, you cannot redeem yourself now,
No, no,
and
no.
it's like
See,
no,
the thing is that like a lot of the time, artists spend a really long time um, figuring things out themselves. And then,
yeah,
realistically speaking, everything that you would ever need to know or practice drawing, you could do in like 2 years.
Pretty much, and
And if
that kind of happened to me. Yeah,
and if you have enough talent for it, I mean, for fuck's sake, like, have you seen that video that PewDiePie put out where he's like, this is my drawing practice for over 100 days.
he's drawing.
Oh yeah, and if you watch like the earlier, if you watch the earlier pages in his little sketchbook, they really suck, and then they get progressively better. You can actually see the moments where he starts to learn things, like face
That's cool.
perspective or like hands and stuff like that, because every single day he like had a goal that he was going to draw something very specific,
Oh
and then by
wow!
the end of it, it looks really good.
And I was gonna say too, because he's like older than us, right?
Yeah, he was like,
That's
I'm gonna just start drawing.
yeah, that's cool. That's honestly cool because I never looked into PewDiePie because even back when he was known as like the horror man, I just looked at it as like Screaming McGee, playing games.
I liked watching
So
Markiplier better
yeah.
because his voice didn't annoy me. Like Markiplier's voice was like, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can add to that. I saw a clip recently when he was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time. And he's in the dark just riding on his horse, and then like he comes across that like KKK gathering, and he's like, the Ku Klux Klan.
The Klan.
The way he says it, it's almost like he just oh no, it's like he just came across Team Rocket like it's the Ku Klux Klan.
The Klan.
The Klan.
Why? The Ku Klux Klan.
God, I'm imagine he's probably done a lot of voice work now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
God, that's someone I would like to work with.
You must be the famous Hunni Bunny. Your reputation precedes you. Oh,
Chica. Oh.
oh,
We need to make a
oh.
character called Chica specifically so that way if we ever get him as a voice actor.
Yeah, it'll be like, oh, Chica.
Oh, Chica.
I just had a light bulb moment. Did he name his dog Chica because of FNAF?
Yes.
Oh, now
You
it all makes
fool.
sense. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't watch Markiplier. I don't play FNAF. I wouldn't have known until like now. So
I don't watch Markiplier. Here's all the times I watched Markiplier, and this is like a massive list.
no, not even.
What I meant to say was, recently.
Recently, I've been watching. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can blame the YouTube algorithm for just like showing me random bullshit.
I really like Grimbeard, but that is a very acquired taste.
Grimbeard's videos are really good, but I will say though, like it kind of has to be a certain mood for me to watch those, and even then, I don't exactly go out my way to watch them.
Yeah. Those are acquired taste videos. They're just right up my alley.
It kind of does bring me back to an old form of like I've been watching a channel recently called Double Toasted where they do like film reviews,
Yeah.
and it kind of brought me back to a time of YouTube where you just had like long form content of people talking about stuff, like constructive criticism. But the problem is because that's like an old form of like content, their views probably average at like 200,000 at best,
And then
which is good.
And then you have douchebags like M. Lauer, where they'll make a 50-hour long video going frame by frame how bad like a Star Wars movie is.
Yeah.
It's like 150 times longer than the actual movie he's reviewing.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Oh, it's trash,
dude.
it's
It's
just
a
trash.
fucking it's grifty.
It
All
is
you're
like the
doing
grifty
is
stuff.
all you're doing is getting people who already hate the movie to like justify their hatred.
Yeah, like they need like the big man to be like, yes, this guy gets it. It's just like, meh, so.
Yeah, you see, well, you look at how long this video is. Clearly, this movie is fucking. It's the same. It's the same people that like watched Cinema Sins and actually thought it was real criticism.
Oh yeah, and then it just gets to a point where it's like, if I was what was it like, I wouldn't fly towards the black hole if I was in the spaceship. It's like weird stuff
Ding.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a horror movie, and I know that it's a horror movie, so I just wouldn't even like start the movie. Ding.
Oh man. You know, there was a time period when like this was when you could actually probably still conceivably like get into YouTube where I actually considered like making it. I know that these channels already kind of exist where it's like your whole like YouTube career is just you making fun of other YouTube things that you like despise. So like I'd make fun of cinema sins, I'd make fun of what's another one I like really hate? Oh yeah,
Oh,
the Fine Brothers.
you
I'd
know it's
hate
one
that.
oh dude, you know what's one that's like really grinds my fucking gears right
Was
now is TikTok, like conspiracy TikToks,
yeah.
where it's like, you see like the terraces at like Machu Picchu, those are actually giant steps for a man the size of a fucking building. And you're like, or they could just be terraces for farming. Like, what the fuck?
Does it kind of make you? Does it kind of like make you sad a bit when you realize that like the plot of Metal Gear Solid 2 is actually starting to become a bit of reality in
Okay,
regards to like
because like I can debunk that in 3 fucking seconds. Okay, if Machu Picchu was designed for fucking giants, right?
Mhm.
Why are all the buildings tiny?
Yeah, there you go.
Checkmate, atheists.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it also makes you wonder too, like who's watching these? Like who's
Oh,
gonna watch
dude,
this and be like,
dude,
yes, giants.
you can make a TikTok of just music and colors, and it can get millions of views.
Yeah.
The only downside with TikTok is it is Chinese spyware,
Yes, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna
and
do that.
like the B, and it is. I don't care what anybody says, but I have somebody in my life that works security
Yeah.
for like a big Fortune 500 company, and they said, yeah, no TikTok. Like before people even like made a big stink about it, they were just like, yeah, no TikTok. That has some kind of like spyware in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I
yeah,
just
that's
I just generally hate like the short form. Like I know it's how it is, and like you know the internet changes and like entertainment changes, but like I cannot for the love of, like I know for a fact that our podcast has moments where I could turn it into shorts, and I've been meaning to, but every time I like sit down and think about doing it, I kind of like scoff at the idea. Like maybe this is like my old man like pride getting in front of me because I don't believe in pride, you know, because it's like it fucks you. But like yeah, I'm just like, I really don't want to have to use the system. I fucking hate using the system. Fuck the system. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. Like every time, I'm just like, this is lazy. This is stupid. I know we could use it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
I mean, so here's how some information for anybody out there that actually wants to like gain the system and become popular. You could become popular doing anything, right? You just need to find the right audience for it. Here's the key. Um, Nowadays, using YouTube Shorts or like TikTok is a great way to have your channel grow, because once it goes on the Shorts page or if you go on TikTok, uh, it's just a never-ending stream of content, and the people watching it are not in charge of clicking on what they want to watch. They just keep scrolling, which means that if your video is viable towards their algorithm, you could just get it. And like for instance, like shitting on something that always gets views. Shitting on something gets views all the time. Or
Yeah.
talking about history in a funny way.
Yeah.
Like Genghis Khan was a really big dude, but then he just kind of died from like a knee injury. What the fuck? Like if you just make videos like that, and that'll grow the chat, like that'll grow the viewership. And once you have that, you sell out. You say that yeah, TikTok screwed me over, and then you make a YouTube channel,
Yep.
and that's how you do it. That's the key.
Yeah.
Because and then
Uh,
you also have to think. Most people watch movies and videos on their phones now. Or
yeah.
another thing is most people read books or read comic books, or if you're drawing art, most people look at this stuff on their phone.
Yeah,
So
so Kindle, yeah.
the if you have like this super massive image with a lot of characters, you can make an image that's like that, but just know that like a lot of people who are on their phones are gonna not get the whole picture of that image, which sucks.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the reason why, like, South Korea, that whole like scrolling format is actually starting to take off. But like, that's another one of those things where like my pride just doesn't really like allow me to even like consume that, because I just hate this like idea of like, because here's the thing, in that instance I get it, I get the whole scrolling format of a comic in that regard, because you've viewed it on your phone. But like, to me as an artist, like, let's say like this, like, take this drawing that you're doing right now, this page. Imagine having to like take every segment of this and you have to like fit it to like a phone like resolution. I would hate it. I'd feel like it's an absolute insult to what I'm making.
I think the main issue is that if we ever wanted to, I really do like the Korean scrolly thing. I like it. So a lot of Korean comics nowadays that are posted exclusively online, they just scroll infinitely. That's how they're like formatted. Um, I think that I really do like that. The only problem is that turning it into a book, if it gets popular enough, or like turning it into something that is like more readily available, does become an issue.
Oh yeah. I remember asking somebody at work who brought, I don't know if you heard of Solo Leveling. He brought the book of that, and I'm like, so how the fuck does that work? He's like, is it a fucking scroll? Like, what is it? And he's like, oh no, no, no. So one page would be like two images that you would have otherwise scrolled, and then like, it's almost like two images, on every page,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah. So I don't know. Again, I just, I try to be a bit like in the middle ground of everything, but that's just like one format. I'm just like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, if you want to do that, more power to you. And if it works, more power to you. But I just can't. I can't wrap
See,
my
if
head
the
around it. I
power
don't like
goes
it.
out, or something doesn't work out, or you can always have a book. A book is
Exactly.
all of the information is in it, right?
Mm.
The phone is really cool. You can watch whatever you want whenever you want on the phone. Here's the thing, though, and I when it came to video games, I was a really big like archivist. I actually really
Yes.
did like archiving stuff. Same thing with like art and stuff. Um, my biggest fear, and it can still be archived in the future. My biggest problem with formatting things specifically for phones is, what if a new phone comes out and it changes the shape?
Yeah. There you go. And it's fucked. It's fucked.
Yeah, and then all of the older things that you used to read are fucked.
Exactly. So, because I know for a fact, like 20 years from now, when you and I are in our 50s, there is going to be some kind of like new form of technology that's going to be so far like ahead of our time that we're not even going to be able to comprehend, and it's going to change everything.
I
It's going
mean,
to change everything.
just yeah, and before anyone's like, "Oh, you're being fucking like the shape of a phone isn't going to change." The shape of YouTube has changed,
Yeah.
and if technology advances further, there's a good possibility we won't even need a brick like a phone. Like it'll
Exactly.
just be
Yeah.
like there. One of the coolest things. One of the coolest things that was in Cyberpunk was like LED tattoos, where
Yeah.
you could like tattoo a watch into your arm.
That's mental.
Yeah, and we're getting to that point, right? We're getting to
Mm.
the point where you can tattoo like fucking laser light shows in your fucking shit and stuff like that. So like the idea that like this brick of a phone is going to be the end all be all version of a phone. No, like
No.
at some that, or like it'll hologram in front of us, or like we'll find some, there will be some other format, and then all of these old things are just going to be like, Because at least with a book format, right? At least with a book format, it is a page. You can zoom in and out. With scrolling, you have to be under the predication that you have a screen that is the size necessary to read it.
Exactly. And that's why I'm just never personally going to ever make anything that's like under that format. Like I'm like a tradition. I'm traditional in a sense of like, if you're going to have a comic, you're going to have a comic. You're not going to have this like scrolling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I will make abundantly clear is I just don't like it. If you want to use it, go ahead. But I don't want anything to do with that
I know
personally. And,
nobody's gonna care about this, but like that YouTube thing goes hard. Like YouTube changing its like layout constantly.
oh yeah, like in fact, you saying that, you know what I saw today?
Yeah.
I watched a video of a guy talking about something in regards to YouTube, and the video was like 5 years old. The entire front page of YouTube was different in the video, so it's ever changing. It's
Do
ever
you
changing.
do you want to know? Do you want to know what YouTube looked like in 2005? There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I used that layout. I remember that layout.
Yeah, and then after that, there was when they got bought out by Google in like what 2008.
It was like really early, honestly. I think it might even been like 2007.
Okay, but here's the thing about like dating yourself with the format, right? Um, YouTube used to have
Yes.
all of its info on the side, and then it had a star rating system.
Okay, so you see that video player there?
Yeah.
That was the second version of the video player. That was still within like 2000. I think that was the end of 2005 or 2006. So that was like their first major change, was changing the video like
This
that.
was 2008. This is what YouTube looked like in 2008. So if somebody was like, if you like this video, you should click my name
Oh.
right over there, and they would point off to the side.
left.
And now
To the
all
left,
of that's
yeah.
like below. So,
Yeah, it's always changing, and like that's why if I ever made a video and I was like, click the subscribe button, I'd probably just point it every direction because it's probably going to be fucking anywhere as a piss take.
because it was above, then it was below, and then it was like below, but not
And
in
it's
the same
right there,
spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been up, down, right. It hasn't been left.
It
yet.
was the Konami code, you know. It's
Yeah. So yeah, I just like if things going to change, like even what probably how we're doing things is probably going to change in the future.
Oh my
just everything
God.
changes.
the actual like channel layout.
Ugh, gross. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could have some like putrid colors for your like YouTube layout. And that was free at the time as well.
Yeah. The only thing was is that like I think at the beginning you could only make like 5-minute videos, and then if you got a certain amount of like viewership, you could make 10-minute videos.
Yeah.
And then
Hey, actually-
when Google bought it, that's when people could make shit long videos.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a thing you could opt into because you could only do 10-minute videos, and then there was like a creator thing where if you opt into it, you could go for longer.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question because we're on the topic of like technology and like everything, I've been saying something to myself, and I want to know if it's me saying this or if it's like if I heard of something. I keep saying to myself, a book is forever, a video game is not, in regards to like accessibility. Is that me, or is that like an actual saying?
I mean, once again, a book is a book. Everything you need to enjoy a book is the book. And
Yeah.
light, I guess. But, if there's
Yeah.
no light, then, you're kind of dead. So that's...
Mm-hmm.
The thing about a video game is that, was it made for a console? Do you have the console? Do you have the cables and the controller for the console? Was it made for the PC? Did the programmers for it like trick the PC's like, capabilities by messing with clock speed? If so, does the game still run on modern computers?
Yeah,
Do you have
and
to
that's the thing.
download?
Yeah.
Do you have to download a whole bunch of bullshit and then pray to God that your modification works?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why, again, another reason why I'm going to like films and books, especially books, is like, like I remember even another guy said this to me, where it's like, one of my favorite games of all time was Burnout Revenge for the PS2.
Yeah.
But the problem is that he doesn't have the PS2 anymore. So he has this like disc that of a game that his favorite game, I should add, cannot be played anymore. So unless he's going to go his way to like get a PS2 again to play this one game, it like really like stuck to him. It's like, wow, these
You would have to
things really
justify.
annoy.
You would have to justify getting more than just like one game for the PS2. I mean,
Exactly.
the upside is that it is a DVD player. The downside is that it uses it uses like RCA cables.
Oh yeah, like modern. I've tried using it on a modern television. It just doesn't
It looks
really work.
it looks bad.
Yeah, I had that realization about like a year ago when, because we have a PS2 downstairs. Like my dad just never like got rid of it, and we have a massive like HD TV, and I was like, I'm gonna play San Andreas for the PS2. Oh, that did not work out fine.
Yeah, because you can physically see the pixels.
Yep, and I was like, oh no, we need to get rid of this. But he still got it down there for some odd reason.
I
It's
would
like,
keep it.
Dad,
There's probably there's probably a box you could plug into it to turn it like facsimile HDMI.
there are tricks you can do, but
Mhm.
I mean, we're not gonna like get rid of the console in the sense of like binning it. Like we're gonna keep that, but still,
The
it's just
original
like
Xbox was actually the first home console to actually do HD graphics
that is true. Yeah, it
because
was it
you
was
could
actually quite ahead of the time.
because you could get a plug system for it that actually made it an HDMI plug, which means that you also had to be really rich to have an HD TV
Oh
at the
yeah, the
time.
Xbox. The Xbox is insane to me because not only could it do HD, I think you could actually save games on the hard drive as opposed to like a GameCube and a PS2 that had memory cards.
Yeah. I mean, it still
And
had memory card slots, but
it was an option.
like you would never need it.
That's insane to me. Like I remember, I had a couple of friends that had an Xbox, and they were flexing so hard that they could do that. I'm just like,
Yeah,
God,
yeah. The only downside to the OG Xbox is that if you wanted to play like Halo 2 now on it, it had like a day one patch, and you can't
yeah,
get that day one patch anymore. So if you play that game now, it just fucks up super hard.
yeah. There's a likelihood he just won't even like compute. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Adding to the point that video games aren't forever. So
I mean, yeah. Also, like the fact that the only way to play like the Metal Gear games is with the console that it was made for.
Oh yeah, because Kojima was the only person who'd be like, "Oh, this thing has vibration in the controllers. Oh, I'm psychokinesis." Like
Well,
he's the only one that would do that.
but it's not only that; it's just like the they ported some of these to PC. They
But
range
not
from oh that's pretty to ooh no.
Well, yeah, because people have this like mentality. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna do MGS4. It's like they cannot. There is no way they can port that into other consoles. It was made for the PS3. You cannot do that. And plus, not only that too, like the game itself actually makes references to the PlayStation 3. Like, how are you going to get around that? You're going to just like edit those out. You're going to like you know what I mean? Like, it cannot be
Now,
done.
longevity wise, they did do this one thing, but it doesn't really help the case, which is uh the PS3 was backwards compatible with PS1 games, and like the digital download of Metal Gear Solid 1
Mhm.
was like $5 and it worked. The
Yeah.
problem is that the PS3 is also an old console that nobody has anymore.
Yeah, it's getting up there now. I mean, we're on PS5, dude. So yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, the,
God.
the, the PS5 actually made people like go in reverse because the PS4 was actually had games and it ran.
Oh yeah, like the jokes came back of like PS3 or 5 having no games, and if you actually look up the amount of exclusive games that are on there, I think there's only like what 8, 10 at
PS3 had
best.
a lot of fucking games on it, but that was because that was the golden age of like games, dude.
Oh yeah, the seventh generation lasted longer than people expected because typically a console generation is like what 5 to 6 years. That
Yeah,
went on for almost a decade.
yeah.
It went longer, and that was again the golden age of gaming. I mean, it did kind of like wane a bit by the end of it because at that point it's like we're kind of ready to move on now. But fuck, man, the
That was a,
PS3 had some good games.
that was a great example of software being a lot more important than hardware because
100%.
because as good as the graphics were like improving during that time period, the thing that really sold a lot of those games was that they were good fucking games.
Yeah, just make a good game, dude. Like that's all. It's not that well. I mean, it's hard, but it's
Because
like
you
it's not
had
that
like
hard. Just make a good game.
you had Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, you had Metal Gear Solid, Guns of the Patriots, you had God, there's so many games that came out of that fucking
It was good.
the Wii, just the Wii.
The Wii had its fair share of like stuff itself, but yeah, man, I think it's done so now. Like
It's
I'm
probably
done
the
with
only
games.
time that your grandparents were ever gonna play a video game and they were actually kind of okay at it.
Yeah, because like it wasn't like because I would imagine like my nan would look at like the PlayStation controller, and be like, this looks like it's like I'm gonna control a submarine, and then you look at like the Wii remote, it's like oh, it's only really got like what 3, 4 buttons at best that you might have to use.
You just swing
So
it around. You
and you just
swing it
swing.
around.
Yeah. I feel like this whole episode is just us ranting about stupid shit, but yeah, to
But
be honest
then
with you,
you know
that's
you
actually what I
you
was
had
not
the
expecting.
you had the Xbox where
Yeah,
everybody was connected to each other. You could do that with
yeah,
PlayStation for free, but nobody
yeah.
wanted a PlayStation in my
That was
friend
really weird.
circle, so I was the only asshole playing it.
I was actually I had the luxury of actually owning both of those because I was kind of spoilt. But that is actually really weird looking back on it now. That like the free one was the one that people didn't play, but then again, like the
Uh,
360 was out first. So
so here was my thought process behind getting it because my mom gave me the option, and it's
hmm
like, well, do you want to play the games with your friends? And I was like, okay, let's think of it this way. Um, One of them uses Blu-ray discs, which means that it's also a Blu-ray player,
yeah,
which means that I can play Blu-ray.
yeah,
That it One of them has I actually like the PlayStation controller, the shape of it, and instead of having like a battery pack or whatever, it just automatically is a recharger just built in.
yeah,
All of the online capabilities were free.
yeah. God,
So,
yeah,
oh, also, it didn't Red Ring of Death kill itself.
it had a yellow light one, but like it took a while for that to even happen.
It like the fucking yeah, but here's the thing though: the PlayStation did not Red Ring of Death.
No, no, it was quite sturdy compared to the 360 in my experience, anyway. But oh, another thing too that the PS3 had over the 360 was like, I did you know you could actually like use that to store photos and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah, like I did that. I stored stuff on there, and like, and it was honestly, it was kind of like a weird. I hate comparing video consoles to like computers, but it was kind of like a computer to an
it
extent.
was basically a computer because you could also just browse the internet.
Yeah, now that did get outdated after a while with the advent of like flash advertisements because it just did not work after a while. But for the time it came out, yeah, you could just browse the internet with a
You could just
PS3.
browse the internet with a fucking
PS3, yeah,
PS3.
it was pretty nifty,
Was the
pretty nifty
Xbox
device.
was the Xbox capable of playing DVDs?
Oh yeah, it could do DVDs, just not Blu-rays.
Yeah, because it could like that's the thing is that the PlayStation could do DVDs and
Oh, not only that too. PS3 games were on Blu-ray disc, which means that if you had a really long game on PS3, it would only need one disc, whereas 360 would have to be on multiple ones.
Now, the only downside is that games from like developers who have a track record of having janky games, the games
Yeah,
were more jank on
on the PS3.
yeah, because it was harder to program for.
Oh yeah, I remember Bethesda actually said about they actually talked about this because like one of their Skyrim DLCs was like delayed for a very like almost a year. They said that the reason why it took so long was because adding DLC to a 360 is like adding DLC to a PC game. PS3, on the other hand,
Yeah.
so yeah, oh, I remember that. That was insane. I remember I had people say to me, "It's like it's taken almost a year for us to get the Dawn Guard DLC. I'm probably never going to buy a PS3 game ever again if this is what it's going to be like."
So, Metal Gear Solid 3 was like right at the end of the PlayStation 2's life cycle.
It was, yeah.
It was originally supposed to be a game for the PS3,
Yes.
but when they actually got like the creator package, they were like, "Oh, we can't program for this."
Mm-hmm.
Holy,
Oh, wasn't it also?
they were just like, "Holy shit, we can't. We don't know how to program for this." Uh-oh.
Well, not only that too, but it was going to be a very long time until the PS3 was going to come out as well. But yeah, like that was planned as a PS3 game originally, and then like it was that, and like the time of how long it would have taken. So Kojima was just like, all right, then one last PS3 game, one last PS2 game, for it.
And
So.
it's one of the original version he released was not that great because it had
Oh,
it had the fixed over the top camera, and that doesn't really work when you have very big open environments.
in a jungle, yeah.
Yeah, so then he released Subsistence, and then every version after that has the free floating
Subsistence, yeah.
camera.
One thing I'm really like stuck on when it comes to MGS3 and just all the old games is MGS3 had a lot of like secrets and Easter eggs and mini games that were exclusive to the PS2 version.
Yeah.
And then because like he had like the Ape Escape mini game, for example,
Or
but like
that Devil May Cry like secret like nightmare
dream
scene.
sequence. Yeah, and like none of that's in the HD version. And so I'm in this like dilemma of like, okay, do I pick the easiest option, which is like the modern like HD ones, or do I go out my way to emulate them? So
I've done a sneaky trick.
yeah.
I actually got you to have a fun conversation about video games.
Well, yeah,
I've done
exactly, yeah.
I've done it, bitch.
It's probably because it's like a game that we know and can actually talk about, as opposed to all the conversations I've been in where it's like, yeah, I've been playing Dark Tide. It's like I
Because
just don't like Warhammer.
it's a completed game that actually has shit to do in it.
Exactly, yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's also a thing I was going to delve into as well. Is like just all the conversations as I've just been in recently. Because I'm actually the type of person that also likes to see how the sausage is made in regards to anything. And like all the conversations I've been in recently, people just don't want to talk about that, and they're all kind of like boring the shit out of me. So I'm in this like spot where like I just don't think I'm ever going to try and engage with people anytime soon.
You know
no one
what?
has anything to say.
Here's one thing about video games for me. I will never buy a video game based off of, "Hey man, we got this little game that we're all playing. Why don't you get it so we can play with us?" Never. I will never buy a game for that reason.
Never again.
Ever again.
Never again.
Because I'm gonna buy that game. I'm gonna spend money on that game. I'm going to spend like the first 4 hours downloading and installing that fucking game, and then I'm gonna play it once with my friends. And by that point, they're so good at the game that like playing with them is like them holding the hands of a toddler.
Yes.
They're gonna then right after that they're not gonna play it anymore. It's like I should have realized that when almost
It's the
every
school
single
thing.
game of Minecraft is basically that.
Oh yeah, where you join a world and like it goes nowhere after like session 2 or 3.
Well, no, see, this is how it works. So, with Minecraft, it's we're gonna play Minecraft together online. So you start up a world, You start digging, you make this really big thing, you start building houses, everybody's like making defenses and food and stuff like that. And you're like, awesome, guys. We could continue playing tomorrow at around 5 o'clock. And then two of them decide that they're not going to stop playing. They're just going to keep playing. And then you go back into the server. They're like, yeah, so we changed like everything. And also we have like diamonds and rocket launchers now. And you're like, I thought we were going to play this together. Oh, by the way, we're also in a mine that's like 700 miles away. So we're actually not going to ever see you guys ever again. And you're just like, I
Yeah.
thought that we were going to play this game together.
I mean, the thing is too with Minecraft is like you can quite literally craft the experience that you want, and the fact that they go out their way to do that, it's like you've ruined everything that this is going to be.
You took away like the whole we were going to have fun as a group.
Because that's the thing. Because at that point, it's not your game anymore; it's their game because they went out their way in their own time to do
Well,
that.
no.
So
At that point, it was just those two playing. And
yeah,
then the rest of us were kind of doing our own thing and not actually. And at that point, I might as well have just played like a single player game.
yeah. I'm having this dilemma right now because we got I mean, the reason I'm not playing the game is because I'm not into fucking Warhammer 40k. I just find 40k like I think I'd probably have more time watching paint dry on a wall than like do anything 40k related.
Yeah.
Like I got a friend who's like deep into Darktide right now, and like I mean, even that game has a bit of a bad reputation because it's not as good as Vermintide. And I'm in this like dilemma. It's like, I think I might get some enjoyment out of this, but it's a multiplayer game through and through, which means that if I don't keep at it, I'm gonna like lose some stuff, in regards to it. So, and not only that too, I am in the most productive period of my life right now. So this could be the worst game for me to like get right now.
I mean,
So what
it
do I do?
doesn't. The problem with Darktide is like it doesn't look like it has enough gameplay to warrant melting my computer.
But there's that too, because like that was like one of the reviews when it came out was, there's just not enough content. And then even now people are saying it's gone better, but what happens when I do all that content? You know?
Yeah,
So
God,
I'm just done, man. I'm done. You know what? I'm done with games. Fuck games.
I'm done with games. So, anyways, you want to play fucking Minecraft? Oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then people are like, "Oh God, ooh, I got one more gripe before we end this episode.
Yeah, I do need to get food soon.
I
So
got one more gripe, which is, oh, what the hell? You're playing this game unmodded? Ah, dude, I could never play this game again without mods. Same exact person 5 seconds later. Oh, I guess like the
yeah.
mods aren't like working with each other. I'm gonna have to delete and then reinstall all of them. How long is that gonna
Which
take? Like 20, maybe even 30 hours. And you're
yeah,
just
and
like,
then yeah.
so what you're saying is that you you're just never gonna play the game ever again.
Oh, I learned that the hard way when it came to modding Skyrim. Is like you'll spend more time installing mods, and then you get to a point where you feel like it's not enough, so you install more, and then you just never play the game. Because on top of that, too, you pretty much have to make new save files because the ones you have aren't quite compatible.
That's
So
actually, oh god, everyone complained about like, oh, the Bethesda fucking like store has mods on it. Like,
yeah,
yeah, and they had like, first of all, the mods that they had like for the community thing are free. You can just get them. But
hmm
because they're like officially like, sanctioned by
yeah,
Bethesda, they actually work.
yeah. For the like, far as I've heard, yeah, for the most part they work. So
Yeah.
I'm just tired, man. I'm tired. Like the only time I'm ever going to mod a game is if it's like a necessity, like getting New Vegas to work, for example. But if it's something like I could shoot fucking lasers on my fingertips, nah, I'm
My
good.
biggest argument for like the modding thing is I've had this actual like conversation happen. Hey, it would be really cool if we all got together and played something. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's like, oh yeah, that does sound really neat. What are you thinking about playing? It's like, oh, I mean, we could just play like vanilla Minecraft, just like dick around and have a good time. Yeah, I just don't play Minecraft without mods. I just can't do it. I'm just like, but the point isn't playing Minecraft. The point is playing a game together as friends. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm just not. So you got to find something else.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like another reason why I'm kind of like distancing myself from it is like there's like too much what's the word? There is so much variety in games that it actually kind of hinders anything getting done because
You know what?
we've got
You know how much of a slap in the face that was. Sorry to cut you off, but you know what that is? It's literally like, oh, yeah, this steak has just a little bit too much pepper on it. You ordered the pepper steak. Yeah, I know I ordered the pepper steak, but there's just a little bit too much pepper on it, so I'm just not gonna eat this.
yeah. I just like fuck you. So
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
uh, well, yeah. My point is like a lot of us, a lot of our at least our friend group have like too many different tastes in like games to the point where we're also at a point where I realize that nothing can be done because I got one friend who. Oh, and that's another thing too. Like we know someone who's like got like a hard on when it comes to like playing games that are difficult. Like for example, I remember there's a game like one game I do play quite often is Project Zomboid. But what makes that game unique is like you can actually customize the experience. So if you want it to be like an easy kind of like easy going game, you can. If you want it to be like 28 Days Later, the musical, you can. Like I remember saying to our mutual friend, I was like, listen, if you want Daniel to play this game, you cannot have all this hard shit that you keep putting on the game. You want him to be into this game. You don't want him to hate this game, you know?
And then he like
Because
puts
like,
it on turbo hard mode where we're just always in a car, and I'm like, okay, I'm done playing this.
yeah, and it's like like, okay? Let me ask you directly: will you be willing to pick that game up again after that?
I would be willing to play. Like, honest to God, like I'm fine with medium difficulty.
Yeah, but
Like it doesn't have to be baby easy where we only see one zombie every 20 miles, but it
no,
doesn't
no,
have
not
to
at
be
all.
hard where every waking second is just like running.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like when I play the game, because like I'm in like dad mode now. I play it with minimap on. I play it where every car has the keys and the exhaust because, well, and the thing, so that way I can actually use the damn thing. Like, I play it how I want to play it. Whereas he's like, I have to have it where my character needs to smoke every 12 seconds. I need to fucking watch my corners. It's just like,
My
god
biggest,
damn it! Like,
it's like being able to do the customizable thing for Baldur's Gate.
yeah, it's great.
Ah, dude, like I think that the one thing that I actually really do like to do when I play solo is activate full heal on short rests.
Sure. That's the only thing I ever do. Yeah,
That's really because God, that game can be really hard. That
yeah.
game can be
Like, if
really just the fact that the option is available.
yeah, they added it in an update
They
because I'm
made
gonna be honest with you.
they made
Sorry.
that game super playable for anyone who picks it up.
Yeah, and not only that too. Like, I remember when that game came out, I enjoyed it initially, but then like reality set in because the only real option to play at the time was the balance mode. Because for some odd reason, when you play on easy, it's so easy that they disable multiclassing, so there's like less variety in the gameplay. And I'm
Yeah,
like, this is really fucking weird. And it got to a point where like I was getting my shit kicked in on balance mode. That I was like, I don't think I'm actually going to play this game. This is actually like ruining my game.
it
This is
was
ruining everything.
that game was very difficult when it came out. Like
Yeah,
because it was still in like early access too. That's the thing.
sort of. Yeah,
It was
it was out, but
it was in a weird early access mode for quite some time.
yeah. And honestly, like,
I think that it's one of the few games that I can definitely say benefited from that actual development cycle.
oh yeah, like their way of like developing their games is very unique. To give you an idea how unique it was, They were originally going to do DLC for the game, but they cancelled it. And the reason why, they said, like, with how we developed the main game, if we were going to do DLC, it would take us another 3 years to perfect that. So we've decided to move on.
Karlach's like redesign is so funny.
All right. Oh, I need to text my dad.
They made
Oh
her-
yeah, she went
They
the
made her.
biggest change.
She was kind of like ugly and buff. Then they made her like hotter, but then they made her like really thin for like a week, and then they brought her back to being buff. But then her face was fucked up.
Well, originally she wasn't even a playable character. You know, she was just like an NPC tiefling who looked like any other tiefling, where she was just
Yeah.
super thin. Then she became like kind of ugly buff, and then they kind of found like a weird middle ground that was kind of sexy, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Yeah, she was definitely. Yeah, I like the new design. That older design kind of looks stinky poopy.
Yeah, I do find it really hilarious how Astarion like never changed.
Not really, no. That
Yeah.
was like the one character that everyone was like, "Are we good? Are we good with him though?" Yeah, I think we're good with him. All right, we're good.
I love the animation when the game like launched in like 1.0, where it's like, oh yes, you can't improve upon perfection.
Dumb swarms.
Thames worms. All right then.
Alright,
I
take
think
it easy,
it looks like
guys.
that. Yeah, it's been fun. You get to hear us like whinge about crappy games. So
Yeah, don't make games you all want to play. All right, guys, take
Yeah.
it easy.
bye bye.
We.